Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and today we're refreshing and seasoning some of our cast iron. I had some cast iron that was in the underside of the coach, and I got Howie to bring it out to the deck under the roof, but it's still got, look, right? This is a cordless drill and this is a wire wheel. And I've just been doing this. And this is why the box is here. Now, the rust is a metal, so it falls down. It doesn't go up into the air very much, but this helps it from scattering sideways. And I'm just doing this. I'm going to take this water and I'm going to mix it 50-50 with vinegar. And we're going to give it an acid bath. I'm just going to take this sponge and I'm going to immerse it in the vinegar water. Doesn't have to be hot. I'm going to move my tea out of the way so I don't drip into it. And we're going to give this an acid bath. Now technically you'd want to soak this, but I'm going to use the scrubby side. I'm going to use the scrubby side. See, and look at the rust coming up. Now you can make a paste of baking soda and water and rub it all over your cast iron, and then take it off with paper towel and give it a vinegar water bath. But if you have a scrubby, this will do just as well. See, now you still see rust. But I'm going to rinse this and put it in the oven, and then we're going to start to oil, okay? Trust me, this rust will be gone very, very shortly. Now, Howie has kindly provided me with a strip of 80p, 80 particle 80 sandpaper. And I believe this is 400 or 500. So this is much, much finer. Now, before I start with the wire wheel, which is actually the fastest way, I'm going to take a piece of this paper here, wrap it around my sponge to make a sanding block. And this is the higher, this will help you get it down, the coarse part of the coarse stuff that you really, because rust to iron is cancer, okay? You can do that. And then when you get it down to where it's a finer, it's all, you know, it's almost soft, you can use a finer grit sandpaper. Okay? However, I'm showing you that, but this is my favorite way. I'm going to have to charge this up again, so you're not seeing me do all my pans today. This wire wheel helps get into the lettering. All right, that's charging. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to check on my cast iron frying pan. Now, let's have a look. Careful not to grab this because it's still hot. Now, I'm going to start oiling this. You can still see rust, but as we bake it, this is going to be a repeated process about 3 or 4 times. So, you can use, they say to use peanut oil, but you want to use something that is has a high smoke factor. I wouldn't use peanut oil personally because you never know who has a peanut allergy. Now let's just drop a little bit of oil on this while it's hot. And we're going to repeat this a couple of times because the oil will also lift rust. And the more often you do this, the longer the better your pans will be non-stick. My oven just reached 500 degrees. Make sure you get the oil in every little part. Ow, oh, careful, Bev. Grab that better. The outside doesn't matter if it isn't as pretty, but it's not dirt, it's not rusty either. So, but see how much we have taken off just by applying the oil. So we're gonna get another fresh paper towel. And you want to dry this as much as possible. And each time you do this, look at how much more is coming up off. All right, and this is going back into that 500 degree oven for, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to repeat the process. Not the sanding part, of course. Let me just dust this onto the floor because I got to sweep anyway. Well, it didn't dust much, did it? Look at that. From that. Okay. Now, what time is it? I don't know what time it is. Here we come back with the scouring pad and the vinegar wash. And I forgot my paper. Let's have a look. See the rust coming off? With the, because I just rinsed that. But now there's more rust coming off because of the vinegar water. Findlay. I am related to the Findlays. Not necessarily these Findlays, but if you go back far enough on my dad's side of the family, there's Findlays. Look at that. Now, one thing I did miss was this little edge right here. It's got rust in it. So again, the pumice stone is going to come to the rescue. As it molds itself to the edge quite perfectly. My hands are starting to hate this. All right. That is looking so much better. Okay, I'm going to rinse this and throw this in the oven to dry. And then we're going to do what we did with the frying pan. We're going to oil it, wipe any rust that comes off with the oil up, and then rinse and repeat. And then we're going to start on the Dutch oven. We're going to work on this for about 10 minutes while our lid dries. Oh, get in there. In the oven. Let's flip this over. Whoa. Oh, I got some in my tea. Well, I need the iron anyway. And we're going to go get the lid out and the frying pan. Please be careful. Do not forget you're handling extremely hot material here. Isn't that looking so much better, folks? Little drop. Don't use your sponges to do this. While it's hot, they'll just melt. Now let's see if we're going to get any more rust. I almost grabbed that handle. Look how clean that is, guys. Isn't that beautiful? The bottom gave off a little bit. Ow, 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 even the friggin' cloth is hot. And back into the oven this goes, and let's oil our lid and see how much rust we get off with it. As you can see, there is some damage on here. So before we oil it, I'm going to take my last bit of pumice stone here. And while this is hot, now I am not going to do the vinegar on this. Why? Because it's hot, folks. Okay. Ooh. That's hot. Flip it over to the cooler side. I'm using sunflower oil. Whoops. Grab it, grab it, grab it. I'm using the clean side of this paper towel here. Oil, once you get to this stage where you're oiling it, oil it, bake it, oil it, bake it 3 to 5 times. Now, before I forget, I'm going to give this a vinegar bath. So that vinegar water bath, so that it can actually sit here and dry naturally while I'm doing my live. Because technically you really want to soak it in the vinegar water to help deteriorate the rust. Okay, I wish I had been recording. I poured the rest of that vinegar water in here, and it's been soaking for about an hour. And I'm just gonna, now it will take down the rust, but even when it dries, you're still gonna see a rust film. That's why the first oiling process takes off the powder. Now I want to show you, these were the trivets and this is what soaking the cast iron does. Watch, can you see that rust? Just a wipe, look, comes right off, just a wipe. So I'm going to rinse all this and let it dry. And then we will get to oiling this and putting it in the oven. Now, this is still really hot, but look at the beautiful finish now on my cast iron. Look at this, Howie. There it is, look.
Oh, look at that.
This one, I'm going to try a different thing with baking soda, but this wasn't even as bad as these were. Isn't that nice?
Beautiful.
And this is going to continue to heat the kitchen for probably the next couple of hours. There it is. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, and that's how you can refurbish and re-season badly neglected cast iron. Yes, I own it. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Mwah. Ooh, shiny.